On display in Detroit, a new exhibit devoted to the work of Vincent van Gogh. Rita Braver is our guide.
If you had to pick an artist who is the most beloved by Americans, you would go to Van Gogh, wouldn't you?
Oh, undoubtedly. And I think there's a few reasons why. They're joyful, they're beautiful, the texture of his paint strokes is just, it's like cake icing.
How many years did you work on this exhibition?
6 years.
And curator Jill Shaw explains in Van Gogh in America, now on view at the Detroit Institute of Arts, it was anything but love at first sight when Americans were introduced to 21 Van Gogh works displayed at the New York Armory show of 1913, the first major U.S. showcase for modern art. What was the response to those works? Did people buy them?
Not at all.
A few private U.S. collectors did begin purchasing Van Gogh paintings, but it was not until 1922 that the Detroit Institute of Arts became the first museum in the country to buy a Van Gogh work, this self-portrait. How much did the museum pay for the piece?
$4,200.
I have a feeling it's worth a little more now.
Just a little bit,
Yeah.
a few more zeros.
The only record of how the public responded to the work is from a newspaper account.
And it was displayed among the old masters, and the reporter noted that it held its own.
In 1926, the Art Institute of Chicago became home to this and several other Van Gogh works. Museums in Kansas City, St. Louis, and Toledo soon followed. Yes, it was all happening in the Midwest.
I think there was some kind of element of making our own name and claiming a stake in a certain kind of avant-garde art that was still being reviewed and on its way to being accepted by East Coast museums.
Then in 1934, Americans became entranced with Irving Stone's best-selling Lust for Life, a loosely biographical novel about Van Gogh.
But it was also in conjunction with a 1935 exhibition organized by the Museum of Modern Art in New York, which was Van Gogh's very first museum retrospective in the United States. The two combined, and it was an amazing explosion of activity.
The 1956 film of Lust for Life, starring Kirk Douglas, intensified Americans' fascination with Van Gogh and his inner demons.
I'm hardly conscious of myself anymore, and the pictures come to me as in a dream with a terrible lucidity.
Van Gogh did suffer from mental illness, which led to him cutting off his own ear, as well as to what is believed was a suicide. But Shaw says works like this spring from artistry, not madness.
In fact, he's painting this from nature and he's painting this from life. He's very much in control, even sent sketches of this work to his friends in letters.
Born in the Netherlands, Vincent van Gogh died in France in 1890 at age 37, after working as an artist for only 10 years. And though it may have taken decades for this country to appreciate him, curator Jill Shaw says he embodies the American spirit.
Vincent was primarily self-taught, and I think Americans are particularly drawn to people who pick themselves up by the bootstraps,
Overcome adversity,
and do what they feel they need to do for their role in the world.